You there. Where did you come from?
What are you talking about? I've never met you. You're a strange one, aren't you? Now, are you going to tell me why it looked like you just came out of the Jarl's private lake house? Yeah, well, just make sure you don't get lost in anyone else's home. Live by our laws here, and we'll all get along just fine. Don't hurt anyone, don't steal anything. Same as anywhere else. Only the punishment here is much, much worse. The Jarl can tell you more, and help you get settled in. Might even have some quarters for you. I can take you to him if you like. Follow me. So, this is our farmland where we grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you ever want is leek, cabbage, and potato. If you have goods, the merchants at the market up ahead will be happy to see you. Most of us have few belongings, just what we brought in with us.
Morning, Golvar.
Morning, Nismar. Above us is the sun under the ground. It's strange and no substitute for the real sun, of course, but these days it doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the Citadel folk. Take Jormund, for example, standing up there on his balcony looking down on us.
We can talk, but be quick.
Just
Domitus could be
look
back
at
any
him.
second.
Yeah, Jormund, you're a really big man, aren't you? Pfft. Milk drinker.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your strapping new friend, Golvar?
We're on our way to see the Jarl. There'll be time for you to get your claws into our friend here later.
I look forward to it. You should come for a drink at my tavern, the Golden Sentinel, tonight. Just about everyone's there after dark.
Be careful with Rastasia. She... well... it's not my place to say. There's enough gossip in this place as it is. It's a small city after all. Only 24 of us at the moment. 23 if you don't count Brandus, who's halfway to the next life. Luke is barely managing to keep him alive. This is the Citadel, where the Jarl and his guests live. If you manage to worm your way in with them, you might get to live here too.
Gulver, what do you think you're doing? You're meant to be working the Owl's farm, not trudging dirt into his citadel.
Jormund, take it easy, would you? I was just showing our new friend here to the Jarl.
Well, how about you get back to work, and I take our new friend the rest of the way? If you don't work, none of us eat, Gulver. Remember that.
How could I forget? Fine, I'll get back to work. It was nice meeting you, my friend. Stop by for a chat anytime you like.
I'm sorry about that. That probably sounded a bit harsh, but it's my job to make sure we all have enough to eat. I'm Jormund. Let's head up to the next floor. Shall we? Stay close behind me. Wouldn't want you getting lost now, would we? It's good to see a new face here. Haven't had any new arrivals in a while. Since Marius. But he mostly keeps to himself. Bit secretive, actually. Most people are pretty friendly though, and so they should be. This is the closest you'll get to Sovngarde in all of Tamriel. No crime, no conflict. Most folk don't even bother locking the doors. Even if you could steal something without breaking the dwarves' law, it's not as if you could sell it to anyone here. always got her nose buried in a book, that one. Helps out Brawl down in the city, our resident expert about the history and laws of the Dwemer. Last I heard, they were trying to track down some dwarven artifacts. Should ask Brawl about it, if you're into that sort of thing. This is the Citadel kitchen. Remember to be polite to our cook Asanshi. She does her best with what she has, which isn't much. Now let's head up to the Jarl's floor. Alright, so we're about to meet Jarl Metellus. There's a couple of things you should know about him, if you want to make a good impression. First, he was the first one here. Well, he was here before the rest of us anyway. So the Citadel is his, and we're all his guests. Second, he's very protective of this place, and won't tolerate anyone disturbing the peace. So be on your best behaviour, and you should be fine. This is the top of the Citadel. The bathhouse is off limits, and I'm not even sure what's behind the gold door. Only the Jarl has ever gone in there. Alright, you're on your own from here. I've got lazy farmers to supervise. Good luck with the Jarl, and I'll see you around.
There's a face I don't recognize. Welcome to my city. I'm Jarl Metellus. Tell me, what is your name? It's always exciting to meet a new member of our small community. Now, before I forget, since you're here for good, you'll need some quarters. Here's a key to the last vacant chambers down in the city, between Brawl and Luki. It's all yours. Now tell me, what brings you to my city? I sent you here. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, let's see. This is my handwriting. The victims of an unspeakable atrocity. I will open a portal that will take you into the past. You must go back. This is real, isn't it? I've even toyed with the idea of creating a portal between 2 points in time, with Brawl's help. But that's odd. My letter makes no mention of what caused the disaster. I suppose I was in a hurry. So tell me, what's going to happen to us? So the dwarves' law is real, after all, just as we always suspected. But you know who broke it? Who was the culprit? Ah, that is a shame. Well, let's see. Do you think you could do me a favor? I need you to investigate the city, talk to my people, help them, if it'll win their trust. You can even go through their possessions, if you have to. You must work out who is going to break the dwarves' law. Once you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. As Jarl, I authorize you to go anywhere you need to go, including private homes. But if someone asks you to leave, you should do so immediately. I can't promise either of those things, but I will certainly do everything within my power to help you once you've helped my people. And of course, if you decide to stay, I would make sure you enjoy a comfortable life here. Now what do you say? Will you help me? Thank you. Now, you mustn't tell anybody where you're from or what may be about to happen here. People do foolish things when they panic. If it helps you, you're welcome to borrow the book on my desk. It contains the names and addresses of my subjects. Just don't show it to anyone. Goodbye for now, and good luck. I don't need to tell you what will happen if you fail.
Rhyme? Signal!
We can talk, but be quick. Domitus could be back any second.
been waiting for you, Dovahkiin. Of course, to me, your memories are an open tome. To begin with, I know you are the leader of the band of murderers called the Dark Brotherhood. Liar. And I know you are a brazen thief, compulsively stealing from your own kind, without remorse or restraint. I know you thirst for the blood of your own kind. I also know you have come from the future. And why is that? Is your desire for power so great that you would break even the laws of time for it? It makes no difference. You will not take it from me. You would not be so foolish as to break my law. I mean, my law. I made it because your kind would be incapable of order, of peace, without it. That makes me the Arbiter. I am also the founder. I discovered this site millennia ago, and the deposit of Ethereum beneath us. I laid the foundations, and I watched my children grow and learn and use the Ethereum to create marvels, technological wonders. But they grew quarrelsome and used their knowledge to create weapons to use against their own kind, and worse, their own father. So I confiscated their weapons and declared my law that each and every one of my children would live in perfect order, or they would not live at all. And here I am, millennia later, still waiting for children worthy of this city. And for my patience, it seems my reward is a visit from you, Dovahkiin. Well, why have you traveled through time to come here? What is it you seek? If only you could read my memories as I read yours. Very well. Ask your questions. It is not my place to reveal that secret to you, Dovahkiin. But when they moved on from this world, I was left behind. You see, the energy that has sustained me all this time, it anchored me here. I could not leave this place if I wanted to. You wish to be ageless, like me. In truth, time passes differently in here. It would take an eternity just to explain it to you. 2,000 years in your terms. But time is different down here. I count time in waves, generations, civilizations. You and your kind up above are number 322. You flock here, your kind, like moths to a flame, driven by greed and the lust for power. You are warned about my law, and when you disobey, and you always disobey. You force my hand, bringing death upon yourselves. So you ask if I am the one killing your kind. And I say no. You kill yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it. So I see. Now, state your purpose here. Your words are tainted by your sins, Dovahkiin. Yet, I acknowledge your heroic deeds too, Slayer of the World Eater. Very well, I will listen. Choose your next words carefully, Dovahkiin. What is it that you made worse? You admit to breaking my law. In the future, at least this explains why you traveled back in time. I warn you, tread carefully. Everything I have done here, everything I have done, has been, I thought that if I could create peace here, create order, that I could prove to the world that such a thing is possible, and they might follow. When the first of your kind disobeyed my law, I was disappointed. But I thought, if I was patient, the next wave might fare better. But that wave met the same fate, and the next wave after that. They betrayed me, and I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. But the more I failed, the more firmly I had to believe that I would be vindicated one day. But I have suspected for a long time that day would never come. And now I see it never will. There is no place for peace and order in this world. I will stop. From this point forward, your kind will be free to live how they choose, in whatever chaos and squalor they create for themselves. I will destroy this Ethereum to ensure your kind can never exploit it, and you may all return to the world of man, should you wish. But I warn you, Dovahkiin, making these changes will create a paradox in time. The events that brought you here will never have taken place. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering with the past. Now, are you ready? Then you will not leave at all. Goodbye, Dovahkiin.
from happening.
My letter. My letter.
You there. Where did you come from? Of course. To me. And... what's this? I see there is a helmet in your possession that does not belong to you. It's... you kill me? That is not possible. And yet, I see you speak the truth. You have come unstuck from your own time. Your presence here is unnatural. Well then, Dovahkiin, why have you returned with this grim trophy? Have you come simply to gloat of your foul deed? Do you comprehend what you are asking me to do? You are asking me to abandon millennia of work. The very thought of it grieves me. And yet, you have left me with no choice, have you? If I agree, I will destroy my life's work. But if I refuse, you will destroy me. Well played, Dovahkiin. You will have your wish. I will stop. From this point forward, your kind will be free to live how they choose, in whatever chaos and squalor they create for themselves. I will destroy this Ethereum
to ensure your kind can never exploit it, and you may all return to the world of man, should you wish. But I warn you, Dovahkiin, making these changes will create a paradox in time. The events that brought you here will never have taken place. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering with the past. Now, are you ready? Goodbye, Dovahkiin.
Hey! You startled me there. Wait. I know you. You're... No, that can't be right. For a moment there, I thought you were... You know, the one the statue was meant to honor.
Cassia! Oh, I completely forgot. I asked her to wait for me at the top of the lift, and... I guess I got so tied up in this place that I lost track of time.
I'd better head back up and let her know I'm alright. Hey, do you want to come with me? We can chat along the way. Great. Follow me. Let's run back up, shall we? Don't want to keep my sister waiting any longer. So, you're probably wondering what I've been doing down here. I guess it's been... what? A few days. I'll be honest. I came down here looking for a haul I could unload on the next merchant I met. I just wasn't expecting to find a thriving city, and the history of this place is amazing. Did you know that up until about 7 years ago, they had what they called the Dwarves' Law? Apparently there were inscriptions warning that if one person committed a crime, everyone else would pay. But they were all trapped in the city with no way out, so they lived in fear that someone would break the law and get them all.
Yeah, is there something you want?
One day, a strange woman appeared in the city out of nowhere. They say she just walked out of the lake house, like she owned the place. And a few people saw her walk into this quarry, into a field of deadly radiation, like it was nothing, like it hadn't killed people before her. And then, the ground started shaking, and golden statues were collapsing, and inscriptions were crumbling all over the city, all at the same time.
And the sun under the ground, which used to light up the entire cavern, bursts into flame and explodes.
And strangest of all, the cavern roof opens up like the petals of a flower, and there's real sunlight for the first time in thousands of years. So of course, people start wondering, did she just walk down here and single-handedly dismantle whatever was keeping the Dwarves' Law going? Who was she? Was she still alive? So Bro, the local scholar, goes down into the quarry to take a look. But now the whole place is empty. But all the way at the bottom, sitting alone in the darkness, is a statue of a stranger. Oddest tale I ever heard.
Rhyme? Sicuro!
I remember you. You're back. After all this time. Can't complain, my friend. You know, not long after they executed Metellus, turns out he was behind Macy's disappearance. They made me Jarl. It was a bit of a shock, to be honest. But I guess they wanted someone who wasn't at all like Metellus. Jarl Galvar. Still sounds strange to me. And I guess I have you to thank for it. If you hadn't freed us from the dwarves' laws, Ulrun could never have overthrown Metellus. So, thanks. I imagine you'll be moving on soon, but you'll always be welcome here. We even kept your chambers exactly as you left them.
Wait, are you wearing... Strange. You're wearing the same armor as me. Better. Now that I know I'm not being watched anymore. Still, someone has to protect this place, and that someone is me. So you might have taken down some old dwarves or whatever. But if you start any trouble here, you're going to find yourself toe-to-toe with me.
Ah, you've returned. How long has it been? 7 years. You're the one who brought about the end of the dwarves' law. Thank you. Wonderful, actually. Gaia and I are still researching this place, of course. But now we get to share our research with the outside world. But I must ask, what happened down there, under the city? What did you do? You convinced him, you say? Well, if it is as you say, you must be terrifyingly persuasive. I only wish I could have been there to see it. I can see that you have somewhere else to be. But perhaps one day, when you have the time, you'll let me record your story in my journal for posterity.
Firefly Finery. Much better, thanks. This place has really turned around. Miranda and I were finally able to have another son. He's probably around here, somewhere. And now that the city has opened up, we have a bit of trade. So the store is doing much better too. And if you really are who I think you are, then I have to thank you for it. So, thank you. You did a great thing. For all of us. See you again soon.
Have we met? Better, thank you. You know, all that time I was looking after Brandis, I remember him telling me about the ancient evil under the earth. I really thought he was mad, but I guess he was right after all. Well, I'm glad you were able to finish what he started, whatever you did down there. So, on behalf of Brandis and Leandris, thank you. I like to think their souls are at rest now.
Hey, you look kind of familiar. Well, business has picked up now that we occasionally get visitors from the outside world, but nobody seems to want to buy my elixirs anymore. Until next time.
Stop right there. What is this one doing here? Ah, the locked chest. Yes, we have it, but have been unable to open it. Why don't you come in and join us for dinner? Very well, but hurry. We are hungry. We are explorers like you. We were exploring the bottom of a great mine when we found this cave. But just as we found it, the earth shook and the mine collapsed behind us. This is our home now. We are pleased to see someone in the flesh. We found it in the water down below, but we could not unlock it, so we dragged it up here. It is locked away in the lonely tower. My siblings and I. Don't worry, we will all share in your company. So curious this one is. We have been here for years, surviving on fish and this wondrous mushroom, and whatever else we can scrounge up. We are not sure. A lonely tower sitting all by itself in a forgotten pocket of the earth. It is strange, is it not? Good, good. This one asks many questions. Now, let us eat, hmm? It knows It is smart and savage, this one. Perhaps it is safer for us to eat mushrooms again tonight. But no meat for us means no chest for you. It stays locked up tight in our tower.
Hello there, young lady.
Welcome back.
Look nice.
Well, let's see. That was 7 years ago? A lot has changed since then. For the better. I'm married to Gulvar now. Sorry, that's Jarl Gulvar. He still talks about you. And how he saw you come out of the old Jarl's lake house. You gave him a real fright, though he wouldn't have showed it. I know he'd be happy to see you again. You should go and say hello, if you haven't already.
Hello there, friend.
Oh, hello. Do you like my fancy new clothes? You mean, after the sky opened up, and the old Jarl died, and we got a new Jarl. Jarl Gulva is died. He gave me a house and these new clothes. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, it's you. I didn't think we'd ever see you again. Oh, so much better. And thank you for whatever you did down there under the city. You know what? I don't even want to know. Everyone's a bit more relaxed, including poor Rodricus. He and I are... well, we're seeing each other. Turns out, he's a beautiful man once you get to know him. You know, well, it's great to see you again. I know you'll be off on your next adventure soon. Still, you'll always be welcome here, my friend. Come back soon!
Wait, aren't you? Yes, it is you! You came back! After all this time! Great. Braun and I are still working together toward a better understanding of the dwarves. But personally, I think the greatest mystery in this place is you. I mean, you showed up 7 years ago out of the lake house and charged down into the tunnels like a knight in shining armor. Then, the city transforms around us, and you're just... gone. So I have to ask, where have you been all this time? You're a time traveler? Incredible! I suppose that explains your sudden appearance as well. Well, I won't take up any more of your time. I have to write all this down. Now, where did I leave my research note?
Oh, it's... Hello, dear. I'm getting older, I'm afraid, but Mara watches over me. Which reminds me, did I ever tell you about the light of the goddess Mara? Yes, of course, dear. Don't worry, I get that reaction a lot. Perhaps I'll see you later.
Ah, there she is. Such a pretty thing.
No matter what else happens, the guards will always be grateful for everything you've done.
Hey there. I've been great! I mean, my father was overthrown not long after that, when Ulrin discovered he was keeping Macy chained up in his locked room. Ulrin dragged him down to the city and executed him in front of everyone. Horrible business. But now, I'm free to wander Skyrim as I please. Of course, I don't, because it's just awful out there. Nords everywhere. I prefer it down here.
I'm a little busy, but what do you need? Better. Mostly. Problem is, I know I can get skooma now, so I have to keep myself from heading up to the surface. But life's better in the Citadel without that old bastard Metellus. I get to make food for the whole city now, so nobody's going hungry anymore. Bye.
What business do college majors have in a place like Sarthon, anyway? It's a place for bored men.
time?
Hello there, friend.
You're the one from the statue.
Hey, this is my house now. Go away. Hey, this is...
Hey, I know who you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
Hey, I recognize you. You're the one who ruined this place 7 years ago. I work in a bloody... quarry now, thanks to you.
Hello there.
I know. Sorry, Cass. I lost track of time again. It's just that this city is so amazing. You have to come down with me and see it for yourself. I promise. It's perfectly safe.
Well, all right. But first, let me thank our friend. Thank you so much for bringing him back in one piece. I really thought I'd lost him. I can't thank you enough. Now, I promised you a reward. This is something I always carry with me, and it's become very dear to me. I'd like you to have it. Thanks again. My brother and I are in your debt.